Welcome to Bonehead of the Week, this week's edition. Every single Friday, no matter where Gabe Sanchez is at, we do Bonehead of the Week on the Tony Michaels podcast, also replaying on the MeidasTouch network every single Friday. Make sure you subscribe to the Tony Michaels podcast. Don't forget to hit that button. And if you're on the MeidasTouch network watching Bonehead of the Week right now, hit the subscribe button as well, because that replay, you can also vote on YouTube, on our YouTube channel, the Tony Michaels podcast. But Gabe, you can also go over to Twitter, as long as it's still up and running. You can go over to Twitter at Tony Michaels Pod, and you can vote for Bonehead of the Week every single week, for every single Friday. You can also download every single Bonehead of the Week, Gabe, on Sundays. Apple, Spotify, Google. Just go search the Tony Michaels podcast on any of your favorite directories, and you'll be able to find Bonehead of the Week. And also, while you're there, download every single episode of our show, Monday through Friday, 2 hours every single weekday on YouTube, Twitter, and Twitch. But you can download it on all your podcast directories there. Gabe, do you like this new banner I got here? Lock him up.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, I moved my nugs, not drugs, and I put the lock him up here behind me. This thing's on our merch store. It's on store.theTonyMichaels.com. While you're over there checking it out, store.theTonyMichaels.com. Also check out the Liberty sweaters, pullover hoodies, and zip up. It's getting cold outside.
It is,
Sanchez. It is getting very cold. You better stay warm while you're standing in line to vote. You don't want to get cold, so go to store.theTonyMichaels.com. We run on your support, and we appreciate every single bit of it here on the Tony Michaels podcast. Gabe, who are our boneheads this week?
Oh, boy. We've got a good collection here. We've got Representative Paul Gosar, the man that thinks it's okay for people to shoot any migrants that are coming across the border. We've got Herschel Walker. I paid for another abortion, but most likely I have other ones that are,
How many abortions are there, really?
I mean, like I said on my What Was That segment on this, I said I wouldn't be surprised, and this is after the first abortion that we found out about. I said I wouldn't be surprised if we found out Herschel Walker paid for more abortions with other women, and then 2 weeks later, we find out Herschel Walker paid for another abortion for the woman that he drove to the clinic. Then we also have Senator Lindsey Graham, who seems to be Herschel Walker's sidekick this week.
It's kind of gross.
It is. I mean, this whole, we'll show clips of it, but this whole PR kind of let's fix the problem, double down on this candidate kind of thing. I mean, they are so desperate. We have how many days? 2 weeks? Less than 2 weeks.
Less than 2 weeks
till the election, and I mean, I guess 11 days. Like that, right?
We're close.
We are in the final countdown, and Republicans are desperate for that seat, and so now they just have to double down and lead into the fact that they've got a candidate who has a history of violence, a history of lying, faking himself to be a police officer. We've got him paying for multiple abortions. He continues to do that,
by the way. He
He
continues to go out on stage like, they say this is fake, but it's real. Like, I mean, you're holding it. I mean, it's real as you're holding it, but does he really believe that he's a police officer? I don't know. Maybe we'll find out. Maybe we'll find out.
I think he does.
Well, maybe we'll find out today on Bonehead of the Week. So let's go first to Paul Gosar, because we were just kind of watching a video on the podcast of this guy.
Right.
And I want to go here first, because I know this probably infuriates the absolute hell out of you. This video here.
No.
We're going to play it here again. We played it on the podcast, but I want to play it again. Now, for anyone who doesn't know, Lauren Windsor, she does Undercurrent, and she goes and she talks and asks questions to politicians that are unsuspecting that she's asking them questions. Now, they believe that she's a Trump supporter or MAGA or a right-wing or Republican, and she's asking these questions. Now, she's been noticed, and they know who she is now, so she's not as easily able to do this anymore. She's recruited some help here. But in this clip here, let me take this banner off here. There we go. So you can see the words here. But listen to this video. This is Paul Gosar one of the contestants on Bonehead of the Week. Let's watch.
Actually, I'm a huge fan of everything you've done for election integrity and everything, and just especially protecting our southern border right now. My family's ranch is down in Yuma, and we have illegals on our land a lot. And we've
Okay, so the person here talking to Paul Gosar claims he has a ranch in Yuma, and there's the illegals. Again, a key word that they're using here. Again, they're not necessarily illegal just because they're on a piece of land. That's not, and because they're brown. But this is the trope. This is the nonsense that is being pushed by the right wing, and this is what has probably driven this psychopath who went to the Speaker of the House's residence, broke in, and was looking for Nancy Pelosi, the Speaker of the House, and ended up beating her husband with the hammer. Let's listen to what Paul Gosar says in reaction to this person saying what they did to these illegals, quote unquote, on their land.
Shot at them, and our Second Amendment rights to stand our ground. I'm worried that the Democrats are going to send me to jail, if I hit one of them, right?
They have more rights than we do.
Yeah, it's like I can't shoot at them, as they cross the border and stuff. I mean, I think I might have hit someone. And I was distressed about it for a week. Yeah. And so I just thank you for everything you're doing. You're certainly off there and everything. And for election integrity.
Say a prayer, because this country needs it.
This country needs you. Shaking his hand. This country needs you. And let me finish here because it gets worse.
A bunch of people that are ready to go into action.
Yeah, actually, yeah. And
how fucking gross is that? People ready to go into action. I wonder, Gabe, if Paul Gosar, when he heard the story about Paul Pelosi this morning, if he was excited.
Oh, I guarantee Paul Gosar was fucking incredibly giddy. He was like, "Oh, I'm so excited! Oh man, I mean, again, this is the Republican Party that are pro-life, but are super excited when they call upon the death of other people, especially lawmakers, sitting public figures. They are fucking giddy to the gills in terms of what possibilities there are of somebody getting attacked. You find out a guy in San Francisco shows up with a hammer to the Pelosi household and says, "Where's Nancy?" And then, beats and assaults her husband. It's something that I would hope that everyone across the board would say, yeah, that's not okay. And right now, what I'm seeing online is that there's a lot of people being like, oh, this guy, David, it's the French way would be Depep, right? Which is Depape.
Is this the suspect?
This is the one that they've arrested that was there, right? So they said, now everyone's online being like, oh, this guy is a Berkeley resident. He's far left. He's this and that. Like, so I'm already tracking what's going on the right as of right now. And they're all pushing this idea that this guy is a leftist. He is.
Of course they have to start that narrative because they know what's real. They know what's real. They know the reality of it. And I showed in our show today a clip from Fox News already capitulating to this bullshit.
Well, I mean, the other thing is they're saying like, oh, he's a Castro nudist protester and stuff like that. It's like, okay, I can't confirm this stuff, but sources are saying that's who the suspect is. One, you do realize you can have conservative views. And I mean, like, I used to live in San Francisco. There were a ton of things you could do. There was the Folsom Street Fair. There was Castro and other areas where you could be nudist and be outside and do that stuff. You don't have to be liberal to do those things. You can still have bigoted views and feel like you want to walk out with a pair of shoes and nothing else on.
Wait. Are you telling me that conservatives are allowed to live in San Francisco Bay Area? Is that what you're telling me? Because it sounds like in a country where you're free to live where you want. It feels like what you're saying is that a conservative, a MAGA Trump supporter could live in the Bay Area. It almost feels like that's what you're saying.
It's pretty crazy. I know, God forbid there are people who are conservative that also have these same type of lifestyle choices for the people that you want to to attack, right? As a Republican, they want to attack these people for doing, that how they want to live and how they want to be. So it's, I just want to bring that up is right now they're saying like, oh, here are facts about this guy. It's like, okay, yeah, he lives in the Bay Area. He's a nudist. That doesn't mean that he is this, right? He doesn't mean that you can't be one and the other. The other thing too is like, we've seen people that have gone from one side to the other side. So if you were pulling up history of someone from the past, it doesn't necessarily mean what they are today, right? You could say this person was an extreme leftist in 1990 to 2000. However, when those things are documented, and then you could say up until recent, let's say in the last 6 years, this person has changed their ways, still have those lifestyle choices. They can still be that person as far as you know and what's been documented, but they can also be fucking a nut job conspiracy theorist, still living in the Bay Area, right? There are a ton of fucking people who believe crazy things, especially right-wing ideologies that live in the Bay Area. I mean, go to any, spoiler for the right-wing people out there, but, CEOs and other people who run tech companies in SF, you've got a wide range of people. We're not all left, liberal-leaning Marxists. There are a ton of people I've worked with and also worked for that are very, very much on the right, that are very conservative in their values, but they live in SF. There's a lot of money to be made out here.
Again, Gabe, I want to be careful here because what you're saying is that only people, that not only people who are Marxist and Leninist and communist can live in San Francisco is what you're saying. You can be something other than that to live in San Francisco. Is that what you're saying? Is that San Francisco doesn't have a gate that they're like, whoa, they're MAGA supporter. You can't come in here. It's not a thing that exists. Is that what you're saying?
I mean, I just want to bring up the fact that, these are things that, people like to say that San Francisco is all crazy liberals. That is not the case at all. As someone who lived in San Francisco for nearly 8 years, I can tell you for a fact, working in tech, you meet a lot of conservative people. You meet a lot of libertarians too, fucking crazy people. But
do you meet a lot of boneheads then? Is that what you?
Oh, a ton of boneheads. You're working at a company, and I work within products, so you meet a lot of people that are like, I'm going to make this decision. You're like, that's a very bold assumption you're making about the user base, but we'll try it out.
Like, what I should do? I should buy an overpriced figure evaluation a social media company. That's what I should do. That sounds like a real boneheaded thing that a bonehead would do in tech. Okay, speaking of another bonehead, Herschel Walker, and I don't even know if we need to do much on Herschel Walker to prove why he's a bonehead. I mean, you just like a clip of Herschel Walker.
I mean, he's been on his even if you look at the little press conference he did with Tom Cotton and Rick Scott, he's telling these stories, right? These stories about a bull in a pasture, right? And he's got six cows that he got pregnant or whatever. And
it's
then he
really
looks
weird
over
stuff. It's really weird.
And he's like, and then he looks over the fence. He's like, oh, there's some other cows that I want to like get fucking freaky with. And also, by the way, at that same press conference, the song that introed them in was Bad to the Bone, which if anyone knows the history behind that song or just read the lyrics, it's literally about a dude in Bad to the Bone. He's talking about his dick, and
his what?
His dick.
What? His dick.
His dick.
His dick.
But
I like how you said it. I like how you said
it. You can't make this stuff up. Like the ability for them to either double down on something because they think it's funny, right? We're going to make light of the fact that he lied about having an abortion, but then he's going to say, he's going to play this song about how he's going around spreading his seed and having sex with people, right? Which is like
broke 1,000 hearts.
Right. The parallel
before I met you
of his life to the song is like
break 1,000 more, baby.
Right.
Before I am through.
So then
that's the words to the song.
I mean, that's and you, like I said, you can't make this stuff up. So at that conference, You know, he's outside the bus with them. You know, they're giggling and laughing at these stories that he's telling. He's talking about this cow getting pregnant, or these cows getting pregnant in the bull scene over, you know, like it's always greener on the other side. That's the perception that you have. And then you go over there and then it turns
It's a
out
bunch
that
of other dudes, and
it's
you
a bunch
gotta
of
get,
other
and you get
dudes.
homophobic. You get homophobic.
Which again goes back to the whole Matt Walsh. Like you
Right.
see what you think is a woman, right? Or that
Yep.
looks attractive or whoever it might be. And you go, oh man, I got these feelings inside. Ooh. And then it's revealed that maybe they're not what you think they are. And then you're like, oh, wait, what? You know, and it's crazy.
They
It's
think
almost
they
as,
think too much about the dick. Like you
Right.
said, they think way too much about it. Like you are too focused on that kind of thing for normal society to operate.
Right. It's like
people are really too focused on genitalia.
You would think that life is already crazy enough. You've got to worry about your family, your expenses, the food, and things you put on the table. You would think that those would be more important. Also, having representatives that lawmakers that represent you as a constituent to make sure that you
do something, that actually do something,
that care for you, that actually want the well-being of the community. You would think that those things would be important.
Right.
But instead, they care about governing. The same people who say, I want small government, I don't want an overreaching government, they're the same people that say, oh yeah, the medical choices that you make as a woman should be between you, your doctor, and your local politician, right? Which is insane.
I couldn't think of a way to say this morning, because I was like, I've never, like in my entire lifetime, I've been here almost 40 years. And I'm like, I've never heard ever before someone suggest that the mayor or like a councilman should be in the doctor's office with you when you're talking about a medical procedure. Like, what the fuck are you? What the hell? Like, what planet are you people on anymore? How did you get so far down this road off the track so much that you're telling people what a Senate candidate, a United States Senate candidate, who honestly has a huge microphone. I mean, he doesn't live in the state that he's running, and he's a carpetbagger, and he's a dual citizen. He's a liar. He's a snake oil salesman. But he actually stands on stage and says that local politicians should be helping you make your medical decision. It's weird ass shit. And I've never heard it before in my life.
Dr. Oz, a quack doctor, is telling people that those are the people that should be involved in your body.
Right. But these are the people running for Senate, though. Like Herschel Walker. Now, Herschel Walker, for everyone who doesn't know, the new news is that Herschel Walker has paid for a second abortion. Now, I think the most significant part of this story is that attorney Allred, actually gave her a press conference, and we might play it here, but I got a more important video I want you to see about Herschel Walker. Allred said that not only, Gabe, did Herschel Walker pay for this abortion, the woman, this is like in 1993, took the woman to the clinic. The woman decided she chose not to have an abortion. She had the choice, and she chose not to. Herschel Walker then coerced her back to the clinic, made her go inside, and he waited in the parking lot until she had an abortion. So not only is Herschel Walker paying for abortions, he has a history of forcing a woman to have abortions, which is not surprising, honestly, because there is no principle with this pro-life stuff, these forced birthers. When you will force a woman to have a baby, even if their life or a little girl has been raped by their uncle or their dad, if you will force a woman or a little girl to have a baby, you definitely 100% will force someone that you want to have an abortion to have an abortion, which is fucking, it's just right down the alley of these fucking fascists. But I want to play a video here. This is by a good friend and a TikToker, Thomas the Villain Bishop. And he lays out who Herschel Walker is in this video in 3 minutes. And it is absolute perfection of how he describes it. And then when we go to the Bonehead of the Week, I want to tell you how these things connect. Let's watch.
So USA Today put out an opinion piece. And it's basically something I've been saying all along about Herschel Walker. You see in the annals of the Republican brain. Herschel Walker is the perfect representation for Black people. Without question. He is every stereotype that we have been called for 40, 50, 60 fucking years. Every single one. Absentee father, check. Abusive, check. Illiterate, check. Athletic, check. Will listen to what his masters say, check. He's a perfect representation. And sadly, he might just win. He might just win. You see, Black men like Fred Hampton and Huey P. Newton, and Malcolm X and Martin Luther King, at no point would they do the step and fetch it for American society. They weren't going to do it. Too much pride, too much dignity, too much manliness for that to happen. But the racist tropes never went away. They never did. We never confronted them, unless we confronted them in the Black community. But we never confronted them nationwide, society-wide. So they persisted. And to look at someone like Raphael Warnock, who embodies the spirit of the Fred Hamptons, the Malcolm X's, the Martin Luther Kings. Well, how do you beat that? You beat it by putting somebody so polar opposite, yet so acceptable because he's under your banner that he might just win. And they found it. Lusting after white women? Check. He is everything we have ever been called in society. I keep saying all along, if they find a picture of Herschel Walker eating chicken and watermelon, you will have N-word bingo. And sadly, he might win. So when people start talking to me about how much we've progressed as a society, the only thing I'm going to say from this point forward is look at Herschel Walker and tell me you still believe that.
He just might win. He just might win, and he could win. And that's the saddest part about this video, is the truth in the matter that we actually are in a position where, and Thomas lays it out perfectly here, that we have a candidate of Herschel Walker in this position where he could be elected as a United States Senator. Now, I'm very confident, in fact, that the people of Georgia will have level head, and they will go and they will make sure that Herschel Walker is not anywhere near making decisions for us as a people.
Right.
But I think the way that Thomas lays it out here is, it really is kind of dark, to be quite honest with you, but it's the truth. It's the truth. It's the truth that maybe not a lot of people want to admit, especially white people, but it's the fucking truth.
Right.
It's the truth. And if you don't like it, if it gives you a weird feeling inside, it's because it's the truth. So I thank Thomas for giving us that video. I played it earlier on this week, and everyone really liked it.
And there's a lot in, leading up to the midterms, there's a question of like, is all of this kind of in place? Like the things that are happening outside of this, right? You've got Twitter, and it's like, oh, is this a distraction? Obviously, you've got other things like Kanye West. I think this directly ties in with stuff like Kanye West, which is creating a normalization of anti-Blackness, which also leads into anti-Semitism, and making that perfectly okay, right? There's always a canary in the coal mine. There's always going to be something that shows you an early indication that things are kind of on the rise in terms of this type of villainous activity and behavior. And this is something where you say, oh, well, it's totally okay. Obviously people are going to be like, oh, well, I've got that one Black friend, or we've got this one guy who's running for office who's Black. Like, how can you tell me there's not oppression or there's not racism, in this country? I can tell you firsthand, I get messages, not as bad as things that other people get. Obviously, I don't have people showing up to my house with a hammer, or I've got, other people that are threatening other people because of the way that they look or the things that they believe in or whatever it might be. But that's the party. That's the party right there. And there are a few people within the Republican Party that send their thoughts and prayers, obviously. But it doesn't mean shit when those are the same people that are sending thoughts and prayers when students and children are just slaughtered, right? By easily accessible guns. This is a party that wants to gaslight and scapegoat and victim blame and throw the responsibility on someone else and say, there's nothing we can do about it. When we turn a blind eye and we don't address these things and we don't, shine light on these things, then what we find ourselves is a society that is willing to say, yeah, that's okay that one group that is marginalized is okay being, degraded or insulted or assaulted in any way. And that is the Republican Party, right? They might say one thing, but behind closed doors, they're saying a completely different thing, which is, yeah, we're okay being racist and bigots and anti-Semites and, transphobic and homophobic and all of these things. And that is what the Republican Party is. And that is what MAGA is. That is what Trumpism is. And that's what we are up against when we go to the ballot on November 8th. If you can vote now, vote now. I mean, remember that do not look at the polls. Do not take this defeatist attitude. Do not take this, we're totally okay right now because I live in a blue state or whatever. It's everything down, as you say, to the fucking dog catcher.
That's right.
These are the positions that are up for grabs and the ones that these people start low and build their way up, right? So they're building their political clout by starting at a low position. And then who knows? The next time they run, it could be for a U.S. representative or state position. Then it could be a U.S. senator. These are things that we have to stop in its tracks right now. And if we don't, then we're going to find more of this normalization. Oh, it's totally okay that a political candidate said these anti-Semitic things or said these racist things.
Kanye said them.
Kanye said them. Exactly. And the thing is, like he apologized to the Jewish community. Everyone is still waiting for him to apologize to the black community. He said things years ago, like slavery was a choice and Harriet Tubman didn't free the slaves and all of these things. And he has not apologized to a community that has been marginalized and has been oppressed for so long, right? It really does show you the fact that the Republicans are unwilling to speak out against the things that he said because oh, great, he's a vessel to normalize this type of rhetoric. And if he says it, then it's fine. We've got a group of people that now can then say, well, if he said it, then we can say it. And you let the boogeyman out of the closet and you can't put him back in. Right. That's the situation we're in right now.
Well, and I'll tell you, that leads me to the DM, the dishonorable mention, because Steve Scalise this morning is saying out loud, and he's saying what he wants. Right. Because he's a dishonorable mention this morning because Steve Scalise is saying, he sees the country going in the way of Italy, which is right wing, which if you go look at Italy and you look at the facts, the reason why Italy went right wing is because the generic ballot, the independents, the moderates that we think of here didn't participate in their democracy there. So here in the United States, if the independents, if the moderates, if everyone does not participate in their democracy and does not lean in to their democracy, yes, we may. It is super important if you can vote to go vote. Not just on the day, but if you can vote early. And it's more important, Gabe, now than ever to not just see your ballot as your right. It is your right to engage in your democracy. You must encourage 3 people to go vote.
Right.
You must get those 3 people to encourage 3 more people. Right. That is how, and you do that by engaging. Maybe it's just pulling up the video I just showed you of Thomas telling you what is the truth about Herschel Walker, and not about the truth of Herschel Walker as in Herschel Walker shouldn't be United States Senator, the truth about the people who are supporting him.
Right.
That is the stark thing that I think Thomas lays out so well in that video is the truth about it, because Steve Scalise, our dishonorable mention today, wants the right wing here. They want an authoritarian state. They want to be able to tell you that you can't get an abortion and that you have to get an abortion, just like Herschel Walker, because folks, they're supporting that candidate. That's their guy. That's their fucking guy right now.
Because there's I just want to bring up this comment because
Yeah.
he's been absent from the show.
Oh, really? Who do we have with us?
Fake Gabe has made an appearance back after
Maybe he was
suspended.
I don't know.
Yeah, it could have been. I don't know. I just remember the last time we saw him was after Texas Paul ripped him a new one, and I don't know if he got suspended or he kind of, tucked tail and ran away. But since he hasn't been here, he's going to make a comment here that says, in order for white supremacy to succeed, is you to believe you are inferior. Are any of you inferior to anybody? I don't believe that I am inferior to anybody. However, I have people on a roughly daily basis that send me messages that tell me I am. Now, since you weren't here, just to fill you in, Fake Gabe, I got some messages from a white supremacist that told me to go back across the country to where I came from, to go to my shithole nation on my dirty ass floor in Mexico, like all the other Mexicans and Venezuelans.
Where were you born, Gabe? Where were you born?
I was born here in the United States.
Oh, okay. I just
pretty crazy. Pretty crazy.
Your dad's from Mexico, though. A beautiful country.
Yeah. My dad is from Mexico. I have family there.
Right.
But I was born. I'm a citizen. And the other Jeremy Johnson on here wants me to show my papers. I didn't know that we were dealing with the Gestapo.
Right.
But Fake Gabe hasn't been here. So just to give you a background, I got a message on Instagram. This guy telling me that I, fuck around, find out. The white man, you should be grateful. He's going to come and, take over and take control if you don't know what's good for you. Basically threatening me. It's a hate crime. Spoke to the FBI yesterday. So when somebody tells me, oh, white supremacy only succeeds if you believe you're inferior, that is not true. I don't believe that I'm inferior. I believe that we're all equal. Now, I do believe there is a classist society that we live in where people have more power. But do I believe that we're all equal as like human to human? Yes, I do, because that is what this country was founded on, right? The pursuit of happiness, liberty, justice, and the fact that we are all equal. The country has a past that is pretty messy and terrible, and we are
some of it's pretty gross. Let's say
it's really pretty gross. But we are moving forward, despite some people like white supremacists and Republicans who want to regress our country back to when women didn't have the right to vote, or when the black community didn't have the right to vote, or when, like everything that is pro-white are these ideologies that they want. So when somebody tells me that, are you inferior to anybody else? I don't believe I am. However, you have people within the Republican Party that support Trump and other in this MAGA ideology that do believe they're better. They do believe, because they're white, that they are superior to me and that I am inferior to them just because of my last name, and make the assumption that I'm not a legal citizen in this country. So when I see stuff like this from Fake Gabe, I'm glad to see that you're back, because we love that you engage with the show and that you expose your dumb fuckery, we'll call it. But
when I see copy machine, the Trump copy machine.
But when I see stuff like this, I just want to call it out, because it is ignorant, it is dumb, moronic, and it's really
exactly what the white supremacists want, by the way.
Right.
It's exactly what the white supremacists want, is for Fake Gabe and people like Fake Gabe, and really more than anything, people like Herschel Walker, Candace Owens, Kanye West, and real Gabe here. They want them to believe this shit, this garbage, because that is how they win. But we must not let them win. We must not let them win. No matter how much they claim to be for free speech and all this stuff, and they claim to be for this or for that, and inferior this and superior that.
Right.
Because, Game, I got a story for you here on the Alpha Cuck, because someone got Alpha Cuck of the week. We do dishonorable mention, and we have the Alpha Cuck. And the Alpha Cuck of the week is Elon Musk.
Oh.
And we know the news about Elon Musk, but I want to show you why he got cucked by a cat turd. As the first order of business at Twitter, he got cucked by a cat turd. Listen to this. This account says, now this name of this account is This Machine Kills Fascists. Imagine spending $44 billion to be at the behest of someone called Cat Turd. Elon Musk is such a loser. This is fucking real. I'm not making this shit up.
This tweet, you can go find this tweet. I double checked. I even took a screenshot of this, because remember, if anyone I called it out in the last, what was that, on the January 6th, day 9. But also, if you just go look for Cat Turd 2 and just put in quotes busted or LOL busted, you will find that this account still has it up. Quote tweeted another account who took a screenshot of Nancy Pelosi on the phone January 6th when she's calling for backup to help control the Capitol.
Right.
The phone is black because
you mean the screen is blank.
Right. The
While
screen
she's holding it to her face.
Exactly. Because the phone, you know, this spoiler alert, has what's called a proximity sensor, right? And just in layman's terms, it's a sensor, this little sensor that detects if there's an object in front of it,
right?
And it'll turn the screen black so that it doesn't waste the battery, right? So we reduce battery consumption because when things are on, they use power.
Oh.
And also, if it's on, then you could actually accidentally touch the screen. So by
whoa, you mean you're telling? I just want to make sure that I understand technology because we're about to talk about the person who supposedly invented the electric car, which he did not, but he supposedly did. You're telling me that when I hold a touchscreen phone to my face, if my skin touches it, it could actually activate the buttons on the touch screen? Yeah. Is that what you're telling me? Because it seems like that would almost be, I don't know, a feature of a smartphone that when you put it to your face, that it would turn the screen off. That way you don't inadvertently touch it with your face.
You don't send a message. You don't add a call. You don't end the call.
Hang up. Yeah, it's kind of weird stuff.
It's kind of crazy because remember,
seems complicated
we no
though
longer
for technology.
Use tactile buttons, right? We moved from flip phones to smartphones.
Do you think Cat Turd has like a BlackBerry? Do you remember BlackBerries with the buttons? They had buttons on it.
Yeah, well, they did have buttons. You know, I don't know. Maybe they're still using a Palm Pilot with a little stylus. You know,
maybe
that is totally possible.
That's it. Maybe that's it. But I'm serious. We have to talk about the Count Cat Turd here on the Bonehead of the Week. Believe it or not, he tweets. The Cat Turd account tweets, report. Oh my God. Day one of Elon Musk owning Twitter. I'll be doing this every day to see if anything changes. As of now, I'm still shadow banned, ghost banned, search banned, and Twitter removed 1,200 followers today, as usual. Whatever the hell that means. Nothing has changed. I'll report again tomorrow. So it's a good thing that Cat Turd is staying on top of this because look here. Elon Musk responds. Now, it was within 12 hours. So, you know, I mean, he's not right on.
He had a lot of other things to do. He had to fire the CEO. He had to fire the CFO. He had to get he had to fire the, legal execs. He had to get those people out.
Well, yeah. I mean, how is he literally going to destroy Twitter without doing all that? I mean, he's here to destroy Twitter. So Elon Musk literally this is fucking real. I am not making this up. I had to double check this shit. I had to make sure it was real. I sent it to Gabe to make sure he could verify it so we weren't fucking up here on the Bonehead of the Week and saying something that wasn't real. This is fucking real. Elon Musk replied to the account Cat Turd, as much as it hurts me to say that sentence. And he replied with this: I will be digging in more today. He literally sent a message to an account on Twitter called Cat Turd, who likely, if it is a cat, which I don't know how this person identifies, but if they are a cat who uses a litter box, they literally would be digging in the litter box. He sends them a message: I will be digging in more today into why Cat Turd. Who gives a fuck about this, really? But apparently,
it really does. Just like the caption said, it really does show you that a guy is willing to pay 44 or get a group of people and himself to purchase a company for $44 billion, which started off as a joke poll. He paid over the amount of what the market was offering, right? In terms of what it was actually valued in the stock market. He did 54.20, which equaled out to 44 billion and some change. He buys this thing. And what is he doing as chief twat? I mean, twit. What is he doing? He is playing customer service representative. He is a customer support
for Cat Turd.
For Cat Turd. He is taking personal requests to look into this, which, by the way, I also want to emphasize. He's complaining about losing 1,200 followers. I lost 200 today, and over the course of 3 months, like, it's Twitter purging out bots. I've lost probably 1,000 or so people over the last month when they've been doing these things where like, oh, I wake up and I lose 200, I lose 100, I lose 300, I lose 200. Like I said, I've lost about 1,000.
Who
Now,
gives a shit though?
yeah, it's like that's what it does, right? Twitter, you've got Elon complaining about bots and not wanting to actually go into the deal in July because he's like, oh well,
He's trying he tried everything he possibly could right up till last minute yesterday to get out of it.
And they're like, no, you need to buy it. You signed a contract.
Right.
It's your fault you didn't read it, and it's your fault that you didn't put any other stipulations in it. You have to now buy it. So now you've got Cat Turd responding to other people's messages and goes, I've now gained 7,000 followers since last night when I tweeted that. Things are definitely changing, and it's glorious.
Okay, so I want to point out that already Elon Musk hasn't owned this motherfucker for more than 24 hours. And here we are on the internet having to talk about how this thing has went to the litter box, literally.
Yeah.
Because of an account called Cat Turd. This is absolutely in the wheelhouse of these incels, of these morons. Because literally, as funny and crazy as it is that the new CEO, the new owner, whatever the hell he is, the chief twat, as you called him, who now owns Twitter, he literally, the reason why he's tweeting at Cat Turd is the same reason why he had to buy Twitter.
Right.
Like, it's the same reason that he had to buy Twitter. It's the same stupid shit. Like, oh my God, man, you can't make this shit up.
And
we
also,
live in such a weird time.
And also, what I find funny is that he tweeted that, or they, I don't know who Cat Turd is.
I think it's a dude because he has a show. He has like a podcast. Marjorie Taylor Greene has actually been on the Cat Turd show, I think.
Gotcha. So if you look at the timestamp, if you go back to that one.
Oh yeah. Let me see if I can go back.
So just to give everyone an understanding of how close these tweets are. All right. So this says 7:03 a.m. your time, right? Now go up to Elon's response and click into that. So 7:03 a.m. This is 6:41.
That's my time. I'm in Central.
Yeah. So from 7:03 to 6:41, if we do the math here, we're talking 22 minutes. 22 minutes from Elon saying, I'm going to look more into this today. And Cat Turd 2 saying, well, since last night tweeting that, I've gained 7,000 followers. The two are not connected. The two are not in any way connected. The reason that Cat Turd is shadow banned and search banned and all these, it's because you fucking spread conspiracy theories and right-wing ideologies that are just inherently misinformation.
And Elon's going to fix that today.
Right.
He's going to make sure to fix that today.
It's not Twitter's fault that people report you for misinformation and spreading conspiracy theories. When you do that, it's like, you're getting strikes against your account to say, well, this person has been dinged for this and dinged for this. And maybe we should not promote that as much anymore.
Wait, you mean there's an algorithm that detects all these things? Is that what you're telling me? Is that what you're saying? Come on. Is that why they're purging bots? Is because the algorithm figures out who the bots are? This is all just, I can't even believe that we're talking about Cat Turd.
Yeah. And there's a lot of reasons why 7,000 followers, though, has not been here. You know what? Actually, let me just go check on this.
You're going to check the account to see how many of the followers are actually fake. So while you're doing that, I want to go back to the Bonehead of the Week candidates because we have Paul Gosar, Herschel Walker, and Lindsey Graham.
Yeah.
Now, obviously, we know who the winner is now because of who we talked about and the progression of the Bonehead of the Week. I am actually surprised that they voted for Lindsey Graham, Gabe Sanchez.
Yeah.
I really felt like it was going to be Herschel Walker.
I thought it was that too. It was YouTube. YouTube was usually things align about on between Twitter and YouTube. But
the polls kind of mirror each other because you can vote for Bonehead of the Week on Twitter or you can vote on YouTube. Now, I will admit, last night when I went to, because Gabe puts it on Twitter and he sends it to me because he ultimately chooses who is on. But I kind of help, but Gabe is ultimately the chief of the Bonehead of the Week.
Yeah.
So
I'm Chief Bonehead.
Right. He's Chief Bonehead, not Chief Twat, Chief Bonehead here at Bonehead of the Week. And he sends me the poll when he posts it. And then I am responsible, or as last night, I'm irresponsible of making sure it gets up on YouTube. Now I copied it and I went to my app to add it as a post because I use my cell phone because it's the easiest, quickest way to get the poll up on there. So I was using my cell phone, and as I was copying it and I went to the post in YouTube and I was laying out the choices in the poll, someone called me. And when I got the phone call, I answered the phone call and never went back. So
Wait, when you took the phone call, did the screen turn black?
Well, I don't want to spread any kind of conspiracy theories around
man.
and all about how technology works. I don't want to spread any kind of
I don't
deep
know, man. That
state.
sounds pretty because basically what would happen is if you took the phone call, you could have accidentally posted something on YouTube.
Oh my God. You know what? I bet it's that technology that made sure that poll did not go out last night, that it went out really early this morning. Because when I woke up this morning, I checked my phone and I'm like, oh shit, the Bonehead of the Week poll. I don't remember pushing go. I went in and I had to finish it. I had to put 2 more choices in and then send it. But everyone voted, but they voted in a way that we didn't imagine.
Right. So it was the votes on YouTube. What
did you find on this cat turd account, by the way? What did you find on this?
Right. So I wanted to double check. I haven't checked the actual bots part, but I did double check the claim of I got 7,000 followers. So here's the thing. I'm looking at a breakdown. I mean, we can also if we can put it up on the screen if you want to. Just so people aren't like, fake Dave and Jeremy Johnson are going to say, you guys are
fake news, fake, even though we're not the news. Like, we're not the news.
Here are the facts. Here are the cat facts.
Is this the link here?
This is the link.
The cat turd facts? Okay.
For a service that anyone can use. It's free. It basically just tracks everyone's account on YouTube, Twitter, TikTok, Instagram, anything you can think of. All right?
Okay, here we
go. So if you
scroll
scroll down, so this is Cat Turd 2.
That's Cat Turd.
Right?
Oh, Cat Turd 2. Why is it Cat Turd 2?
Because I guess Cat Turd 1
was already taken?
Cat Turd. No, I think it got suspended. I think they got permanently suspended for probably spreading misinformation.
Why wouldn't Cat Turd 2 ask to have Cat Turd 1 unbanned? I mean, wouldn't you?
It's one of those. Who knows?
If you had the ear of Elon Musk, total grade B, what does that mean? I don't know what that means.
It just means based on all these different factors. That's the your social media kind of grade or score.
Oh, I see.
It's based on your followers, who you follow, how many tweets.
Pretty average.
Yeah.
Okay.
So if you scroll down,
we keep going here.
Yeah, keep going. Keep going. There we go. Okay, so
right here.
No. Go up to where the table is right here.
Okay.
So what you're going to see here is this shows you the date and also the followers, who they follow, who follows them, the tweets that they send, and they show you basically what the growth or loss is, the gain or loss is on your account.
Doesn't look like 7,000 is the number.
I'm not seeing a loss of 1,200. I'm not seeing a gain of 7,000. Even if, guys, we're going to do some simple math here. Even if you said, I lost 1,200, but I gained 7,000, the delta between the two would be 5,800. Correct me if I'm wrong.
Here's today, 10/28.
Right. So that's from yesterday, midnight up until today. But keep in mind,
even if you add these two figures together, that's not even close to 7.
And again, even if you were to subtract 7,000 from 1,200, you get 5,800. That I'm not seeing 5,800 even between these two.
Gabe, I know what's going on. I know what's going on here. If I will.
Yeah.
It's an account called Cat Turd, and we're expecting it to know how math works. I mean, that could be where we're going. It could be where we're going wrong here. It's an account called Cat Turd who has the attention of the chief twat Elon Musk, and we're expecting it to know how math works. I think that's where we're really going wrong.
It's almost as if we're assuming there's logic within a group of people who don't understand how, I don't know, a phone works, right?
I think that's where we're at. That's where we're at. It is. It's
I did, by the way, I looked up the fake follower count, and Cat Turd 2 they've got a total about 844,000 followers. Their percentage of fake followers that are inactive bot users and such forth are 28%. So 28%.
Ooh, whoosh, 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 whoosh. Okay, well, let's go back to the Bonehead poll here. Let's get to the Bonehead of the Week. We are over on time on the podcast, but we don't care. We're going to finish out the Bonehead of the Week here because we have a special Bonehead for you. He's appeared on the Bonehead of the Week several times. He is a favorite here at Bonehead of the Week. Senator Lindsey Graham is the bonehead of the week. He, in great fashion, Lady G, has worked his way up to the top of the bonehead totem pole here for bonehead of the week. But Gabe, why is he the bonehead of the week? What did he exactly do? Exactly.
Well, you know, there's a through line,
right?
Every week there's a through line through.
It's almost like the boneheads are always connected.
They're connected in some way, and
it's almost like they're all Republican or MAGA. I don't.
Yeah, and I saw someone in the comments. I just want to address it really quickly. They said, you know, instead of focusing on cat turd, talk about these. You know, go volunteer. I agree 100%. Go volunteer. Go to the polls. Get your friends. You know, vote it. What I will call it right now is, if anyone's seen the movie Pay It Forward, let's vote it forward. Right? You get 3 people, they get 3 people. It's an exponential effect. I think if you can phone bank, do it. If you can volunteer, do it. Go to the polls. Go vote. Ignoring the polls. Do not look at. Well,
there's only one poll that matters.
Right.
And I know we want to talk about Bonehead of the Week poll, but the one poll that actually matters in this country is the one that's going to happen on November 8th.
So I appreciate the person bringing it up, because I do want to call attention. And all of these things are connected.
Right.
These accounts are connected in promoting these people like Lindsey Graham and Herschel Walker to run for office that they are trying to support. These are the people that are doing anything they can to put these types of people, these fascists, these people who want to take away your rights, who want to be hypocrites in office. These are the people that are running for office that we need to make sure are not in office, right? These, I want to, you know, I'm a patriot and I care for my freedom and my liberty and this and that. No, these people, again, rights of me, not for thee. They don't care about you. They don't care about anything. If you look at the past few months, the only people that have been passing legislation that has been actually for the constituents and for the American people are the Democratic Party, whether it's the Inflation Reduction Act or the CHIPS Act, or, you know, helping reduce child poverty, and, you know, helping to fund school lunches, helping to make sure that America is actually back on track, right? Like GDP numbers came out the other day. They were good. Reducing inflation is good. Reducing gas prices, you know, all of these things that Republicans complain about, they are unwilling to actually come to the table and help out with, right? And all of the people that are running, all of the people that the Republican Party are pushing, especially like Lindsey Graham, and that's why he found himself on Bonehead of the Week, they're pushing these candidates who are just puppets. They're just puppets, doing and pushing themselves as another seat that can add a vote against the things that would actually help this country.
And this video shows that puppetry. I mean, perfectly. It shows and you know what? I'm just thinking about that. What if Lindsey Graham is cat turd? I'm just saying. What if it's a sock puppet account?
I don't know.
I don't know. I mean, I could be. Listen, Gabe is right on this. Cat turd may sound funny, and that dialogue may be like, what does that have to do with the election? It has everything to do with it, because they love, cat turd loves to push videos like this in a way that they want to perpetuate what happens in this video. And before I play it, I want to say, we watched the video from Thomas describe who Herschel Walker is and what he represents. And this video is another fucking check mark on the box where Lindsey Graham, a white Southern man, gets to speak for Herschel Walker, the black man, in this video. Literally, this is the trope, and this is the thing that Thomas was talking about in that video. This checks another one of those boxes. Watch this clip. It's not that long, but this is why, to me, Lindsey Graham is Bonehead of the Week.
They're scared to death of Herschel Walker, because if Herschel Walker becomes a Republican, maybe every other young child in America of color might want to be a Republican. That's what they're trying to do. Don't let them get away with it. TeamHerschel.com. I want the biggest night for the Herschel Walker campaign to be tonight.
He is almost as red as that background, by the way. Like, he is
right. Well, you talk about puppetry there. Holy
Jesus.
shit.
This guy is off the fucking rails. Lindsey Graham is spewing, right? Instead of saying, hey, we should come together and we should work together. Obviously, it's very hard when one side is unwilling, promotes violence, promotes conspiracy theories, promotes a coup, an overthrowing of a government, wants to remove rights, wants to
hang a vice president, kill a speaker of the house,
wants to take away the rights of women to choose what they can and can't do with their own body, right? This is a group that says limited government. I don't want an overreaching government. I want my body, my choice. but at this in our pro-life and we're pro this and pro that. No, they are not. They are pro themselves. They are pro-selfish. That is what they are. They don't care about you. They are using everyone. They are using Herschel Walker as a puppet, as a talking point, as another seat in the Senate so they can have majority when it comes to voting on something that would actually help you and me and everyone else in this country. Is this the type of person, either of these two people? These are the type of people when your state is experiencing a natural disaster or is experiencing some other atrocity that's happening. You want these two people saying, you know what? We could do something to help you right now, but we're not. We could be sending you aid and assistance when your state is experiencing a hurricane or any other kind of event. But instead, we won't do that. But when our state is experiencing that, we will 100% vote for that socialism and use that federal taxpayer money to help us. But not you. Just us.
Well, they're definitely hypocrites and they're definitely boneheads. And Lindsey Graham, this pause here on this video is perfect.
It is.
Look at that.
Yeah.
Look at that beauty. Oh my God.
You've
screenshot
got Herschel
this.
Walker, totally clueless. Lindsey Graham, just like he is hitting a boiling point. Face is getting red. The way in which he directs his anger, yells at Herschel Walker. Herschel Walker just sits there like, I'm just here. I was just told to be here at this time.
Right.
And then is yelling to be like, I want everyone out voting for Team Herschel. I want this and I want that. It's like, dude, calm down. Take a fucking chill pill. Like maybe take a Xanax or something because you need to fucking just chill.
Let me ask you. Do you think Herschel Walker's sitting here thinking, is this the point where I pull out the badge? Is this it? Is this
do I need to tell people I'll check their papers?
Is this
right?
Is this the part where I pull out my prop badge? Is this the part? He's not sure exactly where. He's just like, is it now?
Right.
Like he's thinking inside his internal dialogues, like, I'm not sure when to pull it out, but I know I got to get my fake badge out at some point.
He's like, I got to show it, right? And they're like, no, keep it. Don't. I told you not to bring that. Damn
right.
It. And again, one of those things, like we have to control this guy from what he says, because if you were to leave Herschel Walker to his own kind of free will, he would say something like he's done in the past that is so incredibly dumb and outrageous. And then the Republican Party says, oh, you know who we need? We need Tom Cotton, a white guy. We need Rick Scott, a white guy. We need Lindsey Graham, a white guy. We need Donald Trump, a white guy. We need all of these white people to come forward and talk for him. Right?
That's the trope. That's what Thomas was talking about in the video.
This black guy running for office said some stuff. He's in a bit of a jam. Who's going to fix it and tell the people and speak on his behalf? Mm-hmm. It's going to be a white guy.
You should thank the white man, right, Gabe? Isn't that what they're telling you?
That's what I have people telling me.
That's why Lindsey Graham is the bonehead of the week this week. And really, I mean, he's pretty much a bonehead as the rest of these are every single week. So let's give Lady G his due. Oh, Lindsey Graham, Lady G, you are a bonehead as you will be now and forever. You are a bonehead. And the bonehead of the week this week, thanks for joining us for Bonehead of the Week. This edition, you can watch Bonehead of the Week every single Friday on the Tony Michaels podcast in the second hour or the replay here on the MeidasTouch Network. Don't forget, if you're on the MeidasTouch Network, to hit that subscribe button. It's really easy, Gabe. And if you want to vote for Bonehead of the Week, just go over and follow our show, our channel, the Tony Michaels Podcast. You can vote on YouTube there as long as I get it up in time. And you can also vote on Twitter. So go follow us at Tony Michaels Pod. That is where you vote for Bonehead of the Week. You can also download every single episode of our podcast and Bonehead of the Week on Sunday. We post Bonehead of the Week on Apple, Spotify, Google, your favorite directories. Make sure while you're subscribing to the Tony Michaels Podcast to listen to Bonehead of the Week, make sure you're leaving us a great review while you're subscribing. And don't forget to stay warm out there while you're standing in line voting. Go to store.theTonyMichaels.com. That's store.theTonyMichaels.com and grab your Liberty sweatshirts, pullover hoodies, and zip-up hoodies. It's going to be cold. It's getting cold outside, and make sure you stay warm. Just go to store.theTonyMichaels.com, store.theTonyMichaels.com. This has been another great edition of Bonehead of the Week. Everyone, if you're on the podcast, stick around. We got a few announcements. But if you're on the MeidasTouch channel, we will see you next week. This has been Bonehead of the Week.